on the thing, you'll be able to, thank you. I'm being heard loud and clear. Great. So let me kind of give you a real brief introduction of what we do. On the very first Monday of every month, final expense agents, both new and seasoned veterans, get together here and we kind of talk about everything that pertains to final expense. Any questions, comments, concerns, we will be addressing those at the end of the presentation. So if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to type those questions. I'll get those questions, comments read aloud, and we'll get those addressed at the end of the presentation. So the last time we got together, we were not in the midst of a pandemic. I don't even really think that there was much of a talk of a pandemic. I think we heard that people were getting sick in China, and that was about it. And man, in less than a month or so, here we are, and we've had to make some major changes to the way we conduct business and things like that. So we'll be addressing all of those things. So for those of you who are new to URL and what we do here, here's kind of an agenda, and there's a few other things that I've kind of added into this. But for those of you who are brand new to Final Expense and Final Expense with URL, we will be discussing kind of the introduction to Final Expense and what we do here at URL. We will also be discussing the lead program and our lead subsidies and how to get started, as well as news and updates. We'll also be highlighting some companies that are strong in the final expense marketplace. We'll provide you with sales tips as well as agent bonuses and incentives, and the open forum, that's where you get into the act, and that's where you can ask your questions, make some comments and stuff like that. Basically what I want to know when it comes to the open forum, I want to know if you have any questions. Sometimes the questions that you have are the same questions that other people have as well. So feel free to ask those questions. If you have any struggles or anything like that, perhaps other people on the call are also dealing with those same struggles. So let's jump into it. Here we have our 2020 Final Expense Sales Vision. So when you partner with URL, and this is for new agents or agents that are considering to jump into the Final Expense marketplace, when you partner with URL, you get access to sales materials like sales scripts, agent guides, online quoting. For those of you who are in different markets like Medicare or annuities, traditional life, or group benefits, we do have a proven turnkey marketing program specifically with Medicare agents in mind, but you can make some adjustments to the wording to coincide with the line of business that you're in. But we do have some turnkey marketing programs that are designed to help you cross-sell Final Expense to your current client. We also put together different webinars, training, one-on-one training and seminars. You have consumer materials as well, like memorial books, client brochures, turnkey letters. We have a bunch of different lead resources that are available to you. In addition to getting leads, we do subsidize your leads based on your production. So for those of you who are brand new to Final Expense, let me kind of get into a real brief introduction into what Final Expense Life Insurance is. Final Expense Life Insurance is a simplified issue life insurance policy. That means there are no exams and there are no medical records that an underwriter needs to obtain. Now, simplified issue does not mean guaranteed issue. Yes, there are guaranteed issue plans out there, but simplified issue basically just means that the client doesn't need to see a medical examiner, and the underwriter is not going to be going after medical records. And in today's COVID-19 marketplace, if you will, a lot of the traditional life insurance companies are scrambling to figure out how they can issue life insurance policies without having to have the client do a medical exam. Here with Final Expense, they've been doing it for years, and again, it's simplified issue plans. It is a permanent whole life insurance policy. That means that the rates are locked in and the benefit is locked in. Now, on a guaranteed issue contract, the rates are locked in. However, the benefit's not locked in for at least 2 years. Now, the average face amount, or the average benefit amount, ranges anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. Now, one of the misconceptions with final expense life insurance is that the insurance benefit goes to pay only for funeral costs, and that's not the case. It is a life insurance policy where the insured gets to name whomever they want as their beneficiary. It can be used to pay funeral expenses, but it could also be used to pay for credit card bills or outstanding debts, just like a traditional life insurance policy. Now, the sweet spot or the target ages for final expense range from 50 to 80. However, there are companies that will start at younger ages, and there are some companies that will go above age 80. Now, with final expense life insurance, and that there is no medical exams and no medical records, underwriting is very liberal. What do I mean by that? It means that clients that have diabetes, they may have had a heart attack, cancer, stroke, or a bunch of other things that may be out there, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's not a big concern to final expense underwriters. So the underwriting is very liberal, and policies are typically issued in less than a week. It's usually less than 5 days. There are some companies that will give you an underwriting decision the very same day and make an approval that same day, and commissions are paid usually within about 24 to 48 hours of when the insurance policy is placed. So for those of you who are making some kind of transitions and trying to figure out the best way to get cash flow, a final expense sales program is the best way to go because it does bring in cash a lot faster than traditional life insurance policies, where it could take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for a policy to be issued, or to some of these other programs that are out there. So with final expense life insurance plans, commissions are paid quickly because policies are issued quickly as well. Here's a list of our final expense carriers. Now, some of these carriers on the list you're probably going to have to remove from your vision because in today's climate we've got to make some changes, and some of these companies are scrambling to help you with making transitions in COVID-19 world. So this is a list of the carriers. We're always looking at different carriers to add to our portfolio. It needs to make sense. It needs to be companies that are competitive for you to offer, as well as make it worth your while to actually get out there and sell them. Our final expense quote engine, you can find that on our website at URL insgroup.com/Aries. If you go to the departments area, and if you click on departments at the top of the screen, and then you go to quoting tools right over here, you will then see that there is a quote engine for final expense life insurance. You can click on that, and you can click on that, and it'll take you to this next page. Bear with me, I'm trying to erase this. So on the left-hand side, it's a little blurry, I apologize, is the next section where it'll say final expense quote engine. And in there, you're going to put in the state, the client's date of birth, their gender, their tobacco use, yes or no, and then the amounts of coverage. In here where it says benefit is level, you can change it to graded if somebody has pre-existing medical conditions where they can't get a level benefit plan. And then you do not have to put anything in the access key. This is already going to be pre-filled out for you, and then you can get quotes now. Now, you can always make adjustments to the face amount. You'll see on the right-hand side of your screen, our quote engine does the shopping for you. So if you need to make some adjustments from maybe 10,000 to 15,000 or reduce it down, you can do that as well. With final expense sales, for those of you who are new, you will find that with final expense sales, it's more of a budget-driven sale versus a death benefit-driven sale. What do I mean by that? With traditional life insurance, you're usually selling a death benefit. You do a needs analysis and you say, okay, based on everything that we've discussed here, you need $500,000 or $1 million worth of coverage, and here are the rates. With final expense, you're backing into it. So you basically ask the client, what can you reasonably afford each month? And then you kind of find a benefit that the highest death benefit that they can buy. So if it's $30 a month, $50 a month, $150 a month, whatever it is, you'll kind of work backwards in there. And our quote engine will, you have to play with the death benefit amounts, but it'll work, you kind of get an idea of where the benefit amounts are and what the monthly rate can buy them. Let's get into our lead program. So a lot of times with final expense sales, leads are the lifeblood of this market. And we do have a bunch of different lead options that are available that we've partnered with. We have direct mail leads. Now, all of the leads that we're going to be talking about today are exclusive. So that means that these leads are going specifically to you. They're not going to you and a bunch of other agents in your area. So we have direct mail. The direct mail pieces range anywhere from $440 to $460 to $500, depends on the company and the postcard that you use, for every $1,000 mailed. You can do a guaranteed response, which means that the company will send out as many postcards as they need in order to get you back the guaranteed number that you're requesting. So if you want 20 leads or 30 leads or whatever, they will do enough mailings to get you that number of leads. Now those are $32 to $35 per lead. And you do have a defined sales territory. Usually it's done by counties where you give them a list of 2 or 3 counties that you have 2 or 3 counties that you want to target, or you can do it by zip codes with direct mail. So there's a bunch of different options that you have. We also have verified teleleads. The verified teleleads, it's based out of Arizona, and the calls originate from Arizona. So it's a U.S.-based company. So with verified teleleads, they're $25 a lead. There is a 10-lead minimum order, and you can do it by the entire state. You can do it by counties. You can do it by an entire city, area code, however you want to do it. Again, you'd have your own defined sales territory. These leads are exclusive, and they are never resold. We do have social media leads, like Facebook leads. Currently, our relationship is getting us leads for about $30 a lead. However, I have been talking to different agents that have been able to get leads from anywhere from $5 to $10 a lead. So I'm looking into that further, but that's been a really good lead source for some agents that are out there selling in today's current climate. And again, Facebook leads are exclusive. Now, there's also basic teleleads. Then I get the question, what's the difference between basic teleleads and the verified teleleads? Basic teleleads, they're not U.S.-based calls. I do believe that you do get what you pay for. It could be anywhere from $10 to $15 a lead. Defined sales territory. These are exclusive leads. They do the exact same thing as the verified teleleads. However, it's not a U.S.-based company, and some people just, there may be that language barrier. That's kind of the drawback to that. Now, as we're talking about lead costs, let's talk about lead subsidies. So for Gemini partners, and you know who you are, for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium that you place each month, we give you $80 to apply towards a lead order. For our standard partners, you get $50 for every $1,000 of paid final expense annualized premium that you place each month. So to give you an example, let's say you did $5,000 in annualized premium. Gemini agents will get $400. Standard agents get $250 to apply towards a lead order. You can use one of our lead vendors, or you can use a lead vendor that maybe you've currently been using. It is entirely up to you. The lead vendors that we have, we're not making any money on selling you leads. We're just trying to get you in touch with people who are in touch with companies that will get you in front of as many people as possible so that you can get out there and sell. Just like you, we don't get paid until you get paid. So if you're interested in getting started, for those of you who are not already working with URL, or maybe you're working with URL, but you haven't been doing final expense, it really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. The very first step is to select the carriers that you want to represent. I am here to help you with selecting your carriers and to find the most competitive carriers in your area. The second step then is to submit contracting. If we already have your licensing flash packet on file, all you need to do is let us know the companies that you're interested in selling. If you haven't submitted your flash packet, then you would submit your licensing flash packet to us. You will list the carriers that you want to select, and we'll get that processed for you. And then the third step is to order leads. Now, you don't necessarily have to order leads in order to do final expense business with us. You may be doing other lines and you're looking to cross-sell. That's great. I have scripts for you. I have the marketing materials. But if you're interested in getting fresh clients, you can order some leads. Now, one thing I do want to point out, as I discussed the leads, and I had mentioned that these leads are exclusive, you can certainly use these leads to add them to a newsletter or an email newsletter or even cross-sell. Maybe you do Medicare. So you're ordering final expense leads now, but come the fall, you can put them into your database and contact them for Medicare. It's entirely up to you. These are your leads. You can do with them as you wish. As we're talking about people who are getting new or getting involved in final expense and they're new to URL, we do have our final expense fresh start bonus. So if you haven't done business with URL in the past 24 months, we will give you an extra $25 per placed final expense application for your first 60 days. The minimum annualized premium for final expense for a qualified case is $500, and you still can qualify for lead subsidy. But you have to be new to URL or you haven't submitted life business with URL in the past 24 months in order to earn this bonus. So take advantage of this if you haven't already. So let's get into news and updates. If you're like me, you're probably sick and tired of hearing about coronavirus, COVID-19. It has really kind of upended our world and what we do for a living. So when it comes to coronavirus, COVID-19, and our ability to sell, you do want to check with your local and state government. In Pennsylvania, where a lot of our agents are based, we are not allowed to go and do in-home presentations. If we are found out that we're doing in-home presentations, you can be subject to a fine and you could lose your insurance license to do business. So we have to make some changes there. Some other states are doing the exact same thing. Some states are not. So you do want to check with your local government to see what you can and cannot do. So as we're talking about these news and updates, and these things are getting updated constantly. Our website is designed, if you go to our homepage, you will see that there is a COVID-19 news and update section, and that is every carrier, every company that we work with that does business with us that has their updates there and what they're doing. What I find really interesting is seeing all these companies that are coming around and really making some legit changes to how they do business and their business practices. And the biggest thing that they're doing is telesales and giving the agents the ability to sell products over the phone. Now, when it comes to final expense insurance, there are carriers that have been doing this for quite some time. I already told you that a lot of carriers with final expense, there are no medical exams. Some of the medical examiners out there for traditional life insurance are basically suspending excuse me, they're suspending service until this coronavirus COVID-19 is gone. But with final expense, you still have the ability to get your clients their coverage that they need without having to do an exam. So the thing is, and this is a new term that we haven't had in the last, well, we've only learned this in the last 30 days, and that is called social distancing. So how do you social distance and sell? We have several carriers that allow you to do that. So what does that mean? It means you're selling over the phone. You could do video conferencing if you have people that are have the technology to do it. I have found that a lot of seniors are not really into like FaceTime and Zoom and some of these other things where you can do presentations face-to-face through video phone or video conferencing. But there is that technology out there, and it is available. But these companies do allow you to sell their products without being in the same room with your client. There are other companies that are working on it. So hopefully we'll be getting some announcements here very soon. If you're in a state that does not have any restrictions on doing in-home sales, then this is not for you. I mean, you can certainly use these companies as well. They do give you the ability to sell face-to-face as well. But for a lot of us that are on the call today, we're not allowed to see people face-to-face right now. So these are companies that will allow you to sell over the phone. So if we break it down into the companies that allow you to do telesales or social distance selling, we have companies that allow you to do an electronic application submission, and then there is a phone application submission. So you're probably like, okay, Matt, what does that mean? With the electronic application or e-app submission, the client has to have access to email. They may not have an email account, but maybe their son or their daughter or a family member has access to email. That's how they will sign the application, is by opening up the email that you've done over the phone electronically, and then they're going to put their electronic signature and verify everything electronically. So the companies like AIG and Gerber, they have their guaranteed issue plans that the client has to have access to email. Same thing with Mutual of Omaha. Occidental Life, actually, that needs to go over to the phone application side, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. There's also Prosperity Life, Royal Neighbors, and Transamerica. And you'll see that Royal Neighbors is in 2 spots. There's also phone application submission. So with phone application submissions, what does that mean? A phone application, you're going to go through your presentation over the phone, and if the client is interested in pursuing coverage, you can take their information over the phone. There's a worksheet. The difference is that you would have a worksheet in front of you. You're going to gather the pertinent information, like their basic general health questions. You'll want to know if they've seen a doctor, who their doctor is, the list of medications that they're taking, those types of things, and why they're taking it. Just have that written down along with the general health questions. And then after you've gone through the health questions and you see that they can get through the application okay, then you'll call a toll-free number. And you can do a 3-way phone call between you, your client, and the company that they're applying. So companies like Assurant, KSKJ Life, Liberty Bankers, Royal Neighbors, those companies give you the ability to sell over the phone, and you can do the phone application. So I'm going to use Liberty Bankers and Royal Neighbors because their programs are probably the best out of the 4 that are listed there. With Liberty Bankers and Royal Neighbors, you would call a toll-free number. The underwriter is going to ask some medical questions, and while they have the clients on the phone, they're running an MIB and prescription drug check. During that phone call, they will be able to give you an underwriting decision most of the time. Now, I just got an alert this morning that Liberty Bankers is behind by 2 to 3 days, business days. So you're not getting the approvals over the phone as quickly as you could normally, but it's the current situation that we're in. So you do the three-way phone call, and then the policy gets issued, or you get an underwriting decision, policy gets issued, and the policy is mailed directly to the client. So you do not need to deliver the policy. A lot of these companies are delivering the policies or mailing these policies directly to the client with instructions on how to activate coverage if needed. Companies like KSKJ and Assurant, there are some nuances that they have. If you are interested in learning more about Assurant and KSKJ, feel free to ask me. I will be happy to kind of give you some of those nuances. So those are the companies that you can sell. These are all competitive companies out there that will allow you to sell final expense over the phone. Now here are the 10 tips for selling over the phone. Number one, be natural and confident. Don't sound fake when you call the person. And make sure that you ask the client questions. You want to know their pain points. You want to know what their concerns are. And make sure that you are doing more listening than you are talking. So ask the questions and then let the client respond. When you have some anecdotal stories, be interesting. Make sure you smile in your conversation. People can actually hear a smile in your tone when you're talking to them on the phone. Make sure you're consciously talking slower and you lose those filler words like and things like that. Number 7, use the customer's name during the phone call. Everybody likes to hear their name. You can refer to them as Mr. or Mrs. or Ms., or you can call them by their first name. It's entirely up to you and how you present it. Just make sure that you sound personable. When the client is talking to you and they're giving you answers, summarize what the customer is saying to you. Review what they're saying to you. Also prepare for common objections. I do have a list of the 3 common objections, which is I need to think about it, I don't have enough money, and there's another one that just kind of skipped through my head. But prepare for those common objections, and also with anything you want to practice, practice, practice. A lot of you do final expense sales face-to-face. What you do face-to-face, you just have to transition it into what you do over the phone. But it does take some practice and getting used to. So I know a lot of you, even though we're in the midst of COVID-19 and we're making some changes, a lot of you are out there and you're selling. I really, to be honest with you, I have not seen too many changes to production. Things have slowed down slightly, but not as much. I thought we would be in some trouble here. So you're working hard, you're playing hard, and we've got some great trips to talk to you about here. Here's a list of the trips that the carriers are offering, and of course, hopefully by 2021, all of these things COVID-19 will be behind us, and we'll be able to enjoy some exotic locations, and we'll all be together again. I keep telling myself every day we're one day closer to this being over. So work hard, play hard. A lot of these carriers offer these trip incentives, and you are allowed to enjoy them. If you do need more training when it comes to social distance selling or telesales, however you want to call it, Steve Clemens, the Vice President of Life Markets, and I will be putting together a webinar for you a week from today. It'll be April 13th at 10 o'clock Eastern, and it is the keys to life insurance social distance selling. We'll be discussing how to submit applications electronically, how to submit applications over the phone, what to say, how to get people interested in what you're doing, and other tips to being able to sell insurance over the phone. And here's the time now where we open it up for your questions, comments, concerns. Want to know what's working for you, what's not working for you. What are some of your challenges? What are some of your successes? If you're ordering leads, how are they working out for you? And if you're on the fence about giving Final Expense a try, what can I do to help you give it a try? Believe it or not, agents that are ordering leads are getting great responses. A lot of our clients are home. A lot of leads are home. So the chances of you getting somebody on the phone are pretty good. The ability to convert that lead into a sale, I'm here to help you with that. So you're not on your own. But what can I do to help you give that a try? So if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, I'm here to answer those questions for you. So what can I do to help you give Final Expense a try? Or what can I do to help you make the changes in the transition in the current climate of COVID-19? I'm here to help you with that as well. So while you're filling that stuff out, a lot of times after we've gone through these presentations and we've kind of parted our separate ways, that's when questions and comments come up. So feel free to contact me at a time that's convenient to do. You can call me direct. My direct line is 717-216-8041, 717-216-8041. And my email address is matta@urlinsgroup.com. Oh, so here's a question that I got. Christine, great question. It was omitted somewhat. I was going to put Americo on there. Americo makes it very difficult to for what you can and cannot do. So with Americo is a company that can you can sell over the phone. They've discontinued their Ultra Protector, but they do have their Eagle Premier Series that you can sell over the phone. The thing is with Americo, they kind of make it difficult in terms of depending on the state, how you submit the application. Some people can do it electronically. Some people can do it over the phone with a worksheet. So to try to keep things as easy as possible, I kind of omitted Americo on purpose. But that is a good question. Americo does give you the ability to sell over the phone their Eagle Premier Series. So that is another option for those of you who are familiar with Americo. If there's any other questions, feel free to ask those questions. And one of the things that I mentioned to you, for those of you who are still on the call, we talked about lead subsidies, and there will be an official announcement here in the next few days, but bear with me. So I just got the approval, as we were talking here, from Steve. We're going to be doing a lead subsidy stimulus program. So Gemini Partners, for the month of April and May, that's April and May, we will be increasing the lead credit from $80 to $100. So you will get $100 for every $1,000 of paid annualized final expense premium during the month of April and May for final expense sales. For standard partners, we're increasing that $50 to $75. So for every $1,000 of paid annualized premium, we're going to give you $75 to apply towards a lead order. And it's for the months of April and May. With this, it's not going to be a cash payment. It is going to be money that is paid directly to the lead vendor. It can be used, we can pay the money on your behalf to a lead vendor that you choose, or you can utilize one of our lead vendors. But we're going to be increasing the $80 to $100 in the $50 to $75 during the months of April and May to help you get in front of more people, to help you grow your business, and to survive and thrive during COVID-19. So for those of you that stuck around, appreciate that. And if you do have any other questions, comments, concerns, feel free to give me a call direct. You can reach me. Let me put my contact information on here. Bear with me. My contact information is 717-216-8041. I appreciate everybody's time today. I know we had a lot of things to cover, and I hope that you found that this information was definitely useful. So feel free to give me a call and some help on your final expense marketing. And thank you very much. And stay safe, everybody. Stay well. Make sure you're washing your hands, avoiding touching your face, all that stuff. I'm sure you're tired of hearing that as much as I am. And we will talk to you all very, very soon. Take care. Until next time.